Alright, so I'm gonna see if my advocate lady local is able to call. She knows I record. You shall see. Might take a few minutes to get a response. One of the things is it doesn't matter what I have recorded on audio. The physical assault is recorded on the hospital. The hospital. Those cameras that are in the hospitals, they're not dummy cameras. Those are real cameras. When I was assaulted, it was recorded by their cameras, but what's it going to take for me to get those cameras? It doesn't take the cops jack shit. But if it doesn't show what they're trying to sell to the American public, they'll just pretend it doesn't exist. She told me I could call her anytime. I should probably just call. Hello? Hey, I have you on speakerphone because I have my car on, but I have three different devices recording at the moment. It's tough to make these calls inside of Starbucks or McDonald's or any place like that because it's just like at the library. I get told it's inappropriate. Do what? I can't hardly hear you over my car. Give me just a second. I'm gonna make this work. I got. Oh man, come on. There's a button on the side of my phone and it's not working at the moment. All right, we'll see if this makes it work.
Power on.
All right, it says connecting. Can you connect? Uh, I'm sorry about this. I just really suck with electronics. Uh, are you there, Vicky? Hey, I'm here. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to keep it on speakerphone and hold it right next to my head to make it work.
Bluetooth connected.
All right, now it's working. Are you there? All right, cool. So I did get it working. I really suck with these things. Um, the One of the things is that I want to be able to show you the sheer number of people that I've had to deal with. The thing is that with all of the evidence and everything that I'm trying to tell you, it all is connected. The stuff that the stuff that you got in your closet, all that paperwork, there's obviously a lot of it. Most of that has been already taken pictures of, but that was with a lady named Megan Mistigatis in Nebraska. And she went out of her way to try to get rid of that evidence because it shows that I'd gone to her for help about multiple crimes committed against me. And once she realized that she'd get in a lot of trouble for that, she started backtracking immediately, and it sucked. She did make a lot of efforts, but it was a day late and a dollar short by the time she actually did it. And a lot of that, when I'm victimized, it shouldn't take me 6 months to 6 years to try to turn in a predator, especially if I am assaulted today. I should be able to assault today without fear of retribution. With me trying to turn in Scott DaCosta, and like the amount of time that you have to look at evidence, and the personal issues that you have with a lot of the different stuff that prevents you from being able to do certain things, like that's all stuff that it is important for you to understand how much of it there really is. I mean, there is so much of it. I could sit down and about probably 45 minutes and explain to you and go to the videos and give you a brief explanation of what's in the video, and we could write down the names of the videos as we come across them. That would probably be the easiest and fastest way to do it. For me, trying to do this across the internet and trying to find a way to transcript it all, one of the difficulties for me is like when people want to keep giving the same idea, like when they want to say to go to the library. Obviously, if this isn't something that I can talk about inside of a Starbucks or a McDonald's, it's definitely not something that I can talk about in a public library. But that would also allow me to sit down with some of the phone numbers that I have on cards and possibly make photocopies of those, because there's a lot of those that if I lose them, I can't get them back. A lot of them have the times and the dates. I was going to a lot of different appointments, and then I was accused in court by law enforcement of not going to appointments, and so on. I literally couldn't afford to keep on doing that, and that's how they prevented me from turning them in. Threaten, harass, and intimidate me and my friends and family, anybody who offers or tries to help me. Try to call everything that I say some sort of slander or pretend that I'm schizophrenic or delusional. So one of the things is I want to be able to show you the conversations from where this first started, and I want you to be able to know, when I send them to you, that that's what it is. But I also want you to be able to look at the sheer quantity of it. I want to be able to, just on the photos part of my computer, I want to be able to scroll through that. We're not even going to read any of it. It's all, everything on this computer is about this situation and the abuse that I've endured. I've got hundreds of people, that piece of paper that I have that says I'm supposed to go to friends and family for help and turn it in immediately. I've literally got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of screenshots of people who were claiming that they were friends and family, and they couldn't follow those simple instructions. They wanted to tell me that's not how it works, that's not what you're supposed to do. Like, I followed the legal route. I looked up the legal route before Natalie was killed. Matter of fact, I'd been trying to find out what the legal route was with a guy named Darren O'Connor, who later on turned out to be a complete and total piece of crap. But I can show you the situations I just want you to understand that it'll take 70 years to look at everything with just one person. And that's one of the things that's so inhumane about this. That people don't realize how much there is to be done and how many crimes get committed against me in between when I first go to somebody to turn in a crime that's been committed against me, and when they actually do something. I'm literally hundreds of crimes are committed against me every year, hundreds of them. And people don't understand that when you're exposed like that and you're an at-risk adult and people can just call you mentally ill and you're not heard, even the people that you go to, they don't want to get involved. A lot of them, when they say that they'll help, that's not what they really mean. What they really mean is that they're going to tell you what to do. They're going to give you advice with no clue as to what's going on and refuse to look at anything that's going on. So I don't know what times or days you are planning on next week, or if you're still able to next week. But I wanted to try to set up an appointment to sit down with you for possibly 45 minutes to an hour to sit down with my computer and look at it.
Okay, and it is to show me
How much there is, because it's an overwhelming task. It really is. I feel bad for anybody who tries to get into it.
volume.
Whoa, sorry. Go ahead. You still there?
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to make it so that it's loud enough so that I can hear, but it's not working very good. All right, I'm right next to it. That ought to work. Um, Also, some of the calls that I need to make, a lot of the stuff that people end up doing is they'll make a deal that they'll help me to turn it in and then they have a whole bunch of hoops that take a lot of time and a lot of money to jump through, many of which I've already jumped through. One of the things that I can send you video after video of is how my stuff ended up getting stolen and how hard I tried to get it looked at before it ended up getting stolen. Also, how I was treated by law enforcement. I mean, it was pretty much just hostilities most of the time. And then when they knew that they were being recorded, then they played nice, but they still outright lied to me. So that's one of the things that's important to show too. They literally changed the rules for me. The rules for me are completely different than they were for my predators. And for me repeatedly having to go back to those predators like Scott DaCosta, that cost the taxpayers and myself a lot of money. I also want you to know that when you start looking at the evidence, you'll start recognizing some of the names are the same and a lot of different stuff. That's because a lot of those people are government officials or people who promised to help me. So those names will come up a lot because those are the people who were giving me hope and promising me that they were gonna. What ended up happening is every one of them just wanted to argue about how turning it in wouldn't work and about how working together with the other people that were involved in it wasn't going to work. A lot of the people who were claiming they were my friends and they were trying to help me, when they got a hold of my other friends who were trying to help me, they just ended up calling each other liars. They thought that the other people were more fake accounts that were calling to harass them about me or try to get some information. And, it sucked. So I want you to be able to see how much of it that there really is and how inhumane it really is to make me live through this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, Sean. I guess I, what are you asking? What do you want? You want me to what? Tell me.
Well, I want you to sit with me and look at how much of it there is, and then we can decide from there what each of our abilities allows us to do. All right. So when would be the best day or time to do that?
I'm gonna look at my calendar.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think tomorrow I'm free. Tomorrow, I believe, but let's look.
All right.
Yeah, I'm free tomorrow until about 4 o'clock.
All right. Well, if you text me when you're ready, I'll pack up my stuff and go then. Just let me know about half an hour ahead of time. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Sean.
You
I'll
too.
see you
Be
tomorrow.
safe. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Oh, come on now. Don't work. There it goes. All right. I don't need that anymore. Um, as far as having local help, that local help also, it's dependent upon their time, dependent upon their abilities. And I do have to understand that with every single person who says that they're going to help. But then they show through their actions, through their words, that they're not trying to understand the same way with me. They're not trying to understand with me the way that I am trying to be understanding with them. But then again, I am desperate and I need their help. They have support networks of their own. They don't need me to be a part of their support network, which is strange to me because so many of them have come to me because they didn't have anybody in their support network. You got no idea how many times Miss Jerry came to me for help with something because she was afraid of Lana's judgment if Lana found out. Uh, a lot of people liked me because I didn't pass judgment on them. I knew they were meth heads, but I didn't pass judgment on them. I still treated them like human beings. I still talked to them like human beings. Of course, I'm different on the internet, aren't I? I give well as I receive. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't have it in me. I do not have the capacity for the cruelty that these people have. They do these things out of animosity. I try to turn these things in and these people in for this over and over and over animosity. Repeated threats against my life, against my family's lives, against my friends' lives, against people's lives who are offering to help me. Having to go to friends and family who had a history of taking advantage of me and of lying to me. Why is it that me and Candace Bondurant stopped being friends when I was in Virginia visiting Natalie? Come on, folks, this is an easy one if you pay attention. It's because she lied to me. The costs for me were enormous, and the treatment was horrible. And to find out that she lied on top of it, yeah, that was over a year before Natalie was killed. Well over a year. Caramel. I get this recording device here. There's some stuff I'll need to explain. When I say my shit's full, it's because it's full. There's no more room. It's stupid. The police are more likely to blow you off if you go in alone, especially if you're a male, especially if you live broke. If you're homeless, you're their bread and butter. You are free convictions. You are free stripes on their goddamn uniform. You're easy prey. And everyone knows it, not just the cops. All these people with mental illnesses want to use mentally ill as an excuse for doing horrible shit to me and calling me mentally ill. Try to convince people not to listen to me. Lovely. Nicole Peralta was my therapist before Natalie was killed. And then she was made my therapist again after Natalie was killed. Court ordered, by the way. Her and Jen Beebe both. Court ordered to do their fucking job. So what did they do? Ignored me for 6 months each. Fucking A. Whenever I had to turn in a crime, Bill County Sheriff's Department tell me shit like, oh, well, you need to go to your advocate. You need to go to Megan Mistigatus. Or, it's not our job, that's mental health. Really? People threatening to fucking kill me is mental health? You fucking piece of shit. Get out of your goddamn mind. When police officers did horrible shit to me, they should not have been the officers that I was sent to for anything after that. Having to go to Scott DaCosta after being assaulted by Scott DaCosta. Sorry. Going to his deputies after being assaulted by Scott DaCosta and Trooper Lassen was inappropriate. Being forced to go to State Patrol about abuse by the State Patrol officers in those situations is no longer appropriate. But that's when Nebraska State Patrol finally pretended it. Lovely. Anyway, I found out this thing will run my computer in my car so I can make calls I need to make and I can record them live. Good caramel. I show you my setup here. recording device, and recording device. Of course, this here recording device. I'm putting an awful lot of trust in a lady I only met 3 weeks ago, but she's also put a very, very significant amount of time and money into me. I don't mean time and money wasted. I mean time and money well spent. It's sorts of things I actually need help with. At this point, it's not just showing the crimes that were committed against me, not just showing the most recent. It's also showing how going to the people that we're supposed to go to, the people that we are supposed to, by law, go to about these crimes. George Floyd mattered for 2 reasons. Number 1, he was black. Number 2, he was dead. It doesn't matter to anybody about police officers sticking their knees in the back of my neck. It's important to look at the evidence because the evidence shows the connection. It shows that these officers knowingly, willingly, and intelligently lied about the situation, went out of their way to omit evidence and testimony. But they had to pretend I was schizophrenic to get away with it. When them pretending I was schizophrenic didn't work. Because nobody after meeting me and looking at the evidence was going to be dumb enough to pretend I was schizophrenic. Not one of these fucking professionals was going to put their stamp on that. So the cops had to do me dirty. Instead of trying the route that they had been taking, which is to try to get me diagnosed as schizophrenic by telling doctors that I'm schizophrenic. That right there was a real game changer, wasn't it? Like, shit, we're trying to have this guy diagnosed as fucking batshit bonkers and don't know shit, and it's not working. Well, maybe next time he's trying to turn in one of our officers, we'll just lie to the mental health professionals. They'll believe us before they'll believe him. Guaranteed, we got badges. And boom, voila, just like that, that's how it works. Well, unless you save evidence. Zang. Anyway, just more electronic crap, but now that I have it, I'm able to use it. I bought it a few months ago, but I had to unbury it because I was living in this thing. It's not costing me anything to have my stuff over at this lady's. She's helping me to get my vehicle legal too. She's fighting through her own shit to do this. She's also already acknowledged that, holy shit, I've been through a lot. I should probably be trying to plug in my phone since it's about half dead. But now that I have an appointment for tomorrow for, I don't know, whenever she calls me, I guess. If she was to tell me an exact time, I'd do it that way. But the way I look at it, I ought to be patient. If she doesn't call me by noon, I might text Messenger and see if she decided on a time. But literally what I'm going to do is go down there with my computer full of evidence, and I'm going to show her a bunch of the stuff that I've gone through, Well, it'll take me probably a half an hour to scroll through all of the evidence that's just in the photos section of just this one computer. A lot of people told me to go to the library, especially right after Natalie disappeared. They're like, you need to go to the library. You need to go to the library. I'm to the library. I got threatened and fucking assaulted. And then people kept on wanting to push that. Dude, go to the library. Dude, if you don't go to the library, you're not trying to get help. Dude, I've been to the library. When I tell you something is a bad fucking idea, there's a reason it's a bad fucking idea. When you try to paint somebody as a fucking killer and try to pretend like they killed some little girl, people aren't fucking nice to them. Oh, yeah, and why is it that people weren't nice to me? Because you wanted to listen to actual fucking predators. You wanted me to be guilty because I was easy. Oh, he's mentally ill. He must be guilty. It's okay for us to harm him. What the hell makes you think that's okay? It's fucking dumb. When you want to make it about you instead of listening to the victim, you have major issues. I'm not going to stop speaking up about the abuse. Now, a lot of people who promised me they were going to help me never tried what it is that you need to do to help somebody in this situation. When your friend comes to you and they're being threatened, harassed, intimidated, stalked, and assaulted, and people are threatening to kill their friends and fucking family. When that person comes to you, this is the legal route that you're supposed to take. And you have to do it the first time. You can't now doing so. Or you sit there like a bump on a log, never speaking up, allowing those predators to do whatever the hell they want. The fact that I had to go to literally to officers who had been predatory towards me in the past is sickening. The fact that I was prevented from turning those officers in, and that is the reason they were allowed repeated access to me, is sickening. The fact that I have had to move multiple times despite the fact that Natalie's killer was caught. The fact that I have literally been to prison for crimes that I did not commit. My predators outright lied, intentionally. 4 people that I had voiced loud and clear publicly on YouTube that I was trying to turn in. And those 4 people have their names all over my paperwork, intentionally misleading the situation and lying to people. Lying to the whole town, running around the whole town telling people I'm schizophrenic. I've never been diagnosed as schizophrenic. You know why I've never been diagnosed as schizophrenic? It's because if you listen to me instead of fucking talk over me or antagonize me, you realize that the stuff I'm trying to tell you is pretty goddamn important. You say that you're trying to do something about how marginalized people are treated, but then you're selling a false narrative. Before you ever do anything for blacks or Mexicans, you need to fight for homeless rights. That will include blacks and Mexicans, not just people of color, not just immigrants, not just people of Hispanic origin or Alaska Natives. You guys fill out that paperwork all the time, don't you? Are you a seasonal migrant? Are you a papered seasonal migrant? Who's your next of kin, right? Okay, so I'm going to end this. This is 41 minutes and 26 seconds long on this. That leaves me 3 hours, 52 minutes, and 30 seconds of recording. So I can turn that off. It's almost dead anyway. Plus, I got to piss like a racehorse. I can turn this audio recording device off. So now I've got recorded in triplicate. Now I want to tell you something. Recording this in triplicate, we'll see how much it takes to put this up off of those recordings. Takes a while. Oh, not yet. A lot longer than it takes to do it. I got to pee so bad. Just recording it live.